Voters in Michigan handed big wins to both Donald Trump and President Biden in yesterday's primary. They both easily won their party's nomination, but the votes revealed some challenges for both candidates. More than 26% of Republican voters picked Nikki Haley, even though she has almost no chance of being nominated. Meantime, more than 100,000 voters in Michigan protested Biden's handling of the war in Gaza, casting their ballots as uncommitted. So what issues do you think will end up deciding this presidential election? The border crisis, abortion, the war in Israel, and DBL Nation, we want to know, do you really want to see a Trump-Biden rematch, or would you like to have another choice? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Okay, Tori, what do you think about the results in Michigan? Was it surprising to you?
Yeah, I think people are taking their vote and using it as they should as like a consumer in some particular way. They're saying, I'm going to stand up until I hear and you've convinced me of something. Nobody on earth, I think, wants a Trump-Biden rematch. Maybe the 37% that love Trump want it, but nobody really wants this replay, right? But we got it. I want to be 20 pounds lighter. It's not happening right now. So whatever, we're going to have what we have. Thank you. The biggest issue here, and a lot of people have this or that, but really when people vote, it's personal. It's the abortion. It's 1,000% the abortion. I've said this from the beginning. It's not a Trump-Biden vote. This is Roe v. Wade vote. The fact that Trump stacked the court with those three people that overturned Roe v. Wade, that I was laughed at when I was worried about. People said, stop overreacting. Well, guess now, embryos are now children. We are on a slippery slope because of that. It is in the news. It's in your doctor's offices. Men are taking appearances and looking at it. I promise you, this will be a revolt in abortion. And Trump stays away from it. He doesn't go on it because he knows it's bad for business. It is. It's bad for business.
Well, he did own the abortion. He
owned this at court, but he stays away from that abortion issue quite strongly because 25 years ago, he was on video saying I'm pro-choice. Very strongly.
I don't think it really matters, sadly, what he says. I think what we saw in Michigan was a protest vote in two ways. I mean, the protest vote, obviously, from the strong Muslim population, they're saying, you know, we're withholding our votes as uncommitted until you figure out and get the ceasefire going over in the Middle East.
You're right.
And I think the votes for Nikki Haley, the people voting for Nikki Haley, do you think, Erica, they're in their car like, Nikki can win? They know she can't win. They're saying that I will vote for a person I know I can't win, that I know can't win over Trump, because it is a protest vote to Trump. I think there are some old school Republicans, they're quiet, they're not on YouTube yelling in their car with their seatbelts still on. They're old school Republicans that are like, hey, I just want to be fiscally conservative. I want to talk about should condoms be handed out in high school.
Right.
Those are like old school tax Republicans, and they're like, we're not with this 91 open cases. We don't ever hear from them because they're not loud, but they are there. And so I think that we heard from them in those ballots for Nikki Haley. That was the equivalent of what the probably Democratic voters that were uncommitted over the war in Gaza.
Yeah, let's see what our viewers had to say. Do you wish that you had another option? 84% of you. There you go.
Nobody,
How is that even possible that we're dealing with this? It's supposed to be democracy, right?